Hello everyone, I'm Ginger Thomas and I go to the University of California, Santa Barbara. I'm going into my third year and I'm a communication and film and media studies double major. I'm about to study abroad at the University of Auckland, and the program name is called the University of Auckland under UCEAP, and I am so excited. I honestly think that the University of Auckland and New Zealand in general was a bit of a spontaneous choice, but I knew I wanted to study abroad because it's such a once in a lifetime opportunity to be able to travel that easily and comfortably. But I guess I would say that for New Zealand, it's surrounded by the ocean, and I am lucky enough to be from Maui and to go to school in Santa Barbara, and so staying by the ocean is definitely something that I enjoy, and getting to explore new varieties of the ocean in a sense is really exciting for me. But of course, I am definitely very nervous. I think it's very scary to not know that many people or really anyone from New Zealand or from the school. But in a sense, I also think that that's the most exciting part because you get to meet so many people with different experiences, stories, and backgrounds, and just be able to step out of your comfort zone and grow. And that's really important to me. I have not really started packing. I did pack going from Santa Barbara back home to Maui, but I have a lot of work cut out for me. I do have some vacuum seal bags, which I think will help a lot, but I definitely have a lot more to do. But overall, I'm just so excited about it. Hello everyone, it's Ginger here, and I'm about to embark on my big journey to the University of Auckland. I'm actually leaving tomorrow to go to Sacramento. I'm meeting my dad there, and then we're leaving on July 4th to head on over to New Zealand, and we'll actually arrive on the 6th because it adds a day. I made this choice to have a parent come with me just to feel a little bit more comfortable and get settled in, but I definitely think you could do without it. I think it's just totally based on personal preference. My packing so far is going okay. I'm really not the best packer, but I'm trying my best. I'm using vacuum seal bags that I got off of Amazon, and that's really helping. I highly recommend that. And also, I'm bringing a few things from home, not really that many, but just a few things to make me feel a little more comfortable. Like I'm bringing this little plumeria tree, and then I'm also bringing a little picture that my friend made me. It's a collage of us, and maybe a few other pictures that I can set up in my room. And yeah, I'm going to be taking communication and film classes. I'm taking 3 communication classes and 1 film class. And even with those 4 classes, it still looks like my schedule is pretty open. So I'm really excited to have that kind of balance of doing school and also getting to explore the country. But yeah, overall, I'm super excited. Definitely have a lot more packing to do today, but I should be good to go by tomorrow night. And yeah. Hello everyone, it's Ginger here, and I'm at the University of Auckland. I've already been here for 3 to 4 weeks, which is just mind-blowing, but I've settled in quite nicely. I feel very comfortable here, and everyone here is just very friendly, whether that be in like the shops and restaurants or like in your classes and in the residence halls. Everyone is just so friendly, and that's honestly probably the biggest culture shock, is just how kind everyone is here and willing to help you or talk to you. I do love the accents and the slang, and that's just been really fun as well. But in terms of my housing, I'm living in Carlisle Park, SMH, which has just been really, really nice because everyone here is really social. There's things to do. There's right out here, there's a volleyball court and ping pong tables and places to study and cook, even though in my actual room, it's kind of like the suites at UCSB or maybe at some of the other UC schools as well, where there's 4 rooms and then there's a shared kitchen, living space, and bathrooms. So it's really nice to kind of have that private area, but then have that place to socialize. Yeah, and then in terms of classes, I am in classes that I really like. I'm in 3 communication classes and 1 film class. However, I did have a bit of a debacle with making sure that my classes would fit for my major. I was not in the correct level classes for 3 of them, so I really just highly recommend meeting with an advisor and solidifying your classes to make sure that they'll transfer over, because it was very stressful having to switch 3 out of the 4 of my classes into new classes. I take full responsibility for that, but I just would highly recommend that you make sure that that's all worked out. But yeah, I'm very excited about my classes. 2 of them have lectures that are about 10 people, which is just really great to have that one-on-one with the professor. And I'm in a screenwriting class, which is really nice because it's a bit more active in my major instead of just, film theory. It's really hands-on, so I'm very excited. Hello everyone, it's Ginger here. I'm in the music room at Carlisle Park at the University of Auckland in New Zealand, and
I've actually been in New Zealand for almost 3 months now, and I only have 3 weeks of classes left, which is just so crazy, and time really does fly by when you're studying abroad. It's very true. And that's definitely helped with my homesickness because, I'm just really trying to stay in the moment as much as possible. But of course, I do miss friends, family, restaurants, things like that. But I've just really been trying to take it all in before it slips away from me. I've also stayed in a bit of a routine just by doing things like going to Pilates or yoga or going to a cafe or, just meeting up with friends and going to the movies or something like that. And so that's really helped me during the week because on the weekends, I do tend to have bigger trips and activities planned out. But during the week, I want to make sure I'm not just laying in bed all day or just doing work all day. So I do try and find smaller activities like that to partake in. I think that's really beneficial. I also did have my mid-semester break about a few weeks ago, and I went to Australia and Fiji, which was just incredible. In Fiji, we actually stayed in a hostel, which just goes to show that you really don't need to have this huge budget to be able to travel. You can make the most out of it with a smaller budget, whether you're traveling in your country or in another country. You can totally make it work. And the last thing I want to say is just to do that, you don't have to have this huge group of people to go with. You can solo travel, you can go with a few friends, you can go with a bigger group. I mean, it's really just so subjective. And I also think that that's something that has helped me is just like not comparing your experience to other people's experiences. Yours is meant to be your own. You're meant to, live it out with the activities that you do and with your interests. And so just not trying to wish that you were in somebody else's place, I think is really going to help you enjoy your experience more. Anyways, that's all for today. Bye. Hello everyone, it's Ginger here. I'm back from New Zealand at the University of Auckland. I had such an incredible experience and I really, truly, highly recommend it, especially if you're somebody who maybe feels a little bit overwhelmed with the study abroad experience and going to a new country. New Zealand, although there's so much to see, I didn't even get to see everything that I wanted to see, but it does feel a little bit tighter knit and it is English speaking, so it does ease the nerves a little bit. However, I think that going anywhere to study abroad is such a great opportunity to take, and I haven't heard a negative experience from any of my friends, or even before I left, I hadn't heard a negative experience from anyone because I really don't think it's something that most people regret. I think definitely you learn things about yourself. Like, for example, I kind of have learned that I really enjoy a routine and being around friends and family, so that's why it's nice to kind of get to come back to the US. However, I definitely did like the travel experience as well, and I think that the 4 months was actually really cool to be gone for that long. So I think that for me, I kind of like the balance. I could see myself doing it again, but maybe not somebody who is, doing solo travel all of the time, where I think other people are kind of on both sides of that spectrum. Some people would maybe never do it again, and they just kind of always want to be, at home and maybe do 1 or 2 week vacations, and other people could travel for many months at a time. So I think that no one really usually regrets the experience. I think that they just learn what's for them and what's not. But yeah, I've actually stayed in contact with a bunch of the people that I met, especially some of the people from France, just through Instagram DMs, and they've been sending me little vlogs, and I'm on some of their close friend stories, and I'm going to send them a few vlogs after, actually. But yeah, it's just been really nice to stay in touch, and hopefully I'll get to visit them, and they'll get to come visit me. But yeah, I definitely have become a little bit more of a social person. Not to say I wasn't before, I definitely was, but I would say I was a bit more introverted, and the study abroad experience kind of forces you to step out of your comfort zone, which I think is a really cool skill, and just take on opportunities, in places and with people that you've never met before. So I think that that's a really cool part of it. And I also got to go to one of my dream locations in New Zealand, which was Lake Tekapo. I hope I'm saying it right. But yeah, I got to see the lupins, and it was beautiful. And there's so many places in New Zealand that were like dream locations for me. But also I did get to Australia, and I definitely want to come back to Australia. So I highly recommend, if you're also looking at one of their programs, I'm sure that's also a great choice. I'm really excited to eventually plan another trip there because there's so much to see there as well. Hi everyone, it's Ginger here, and I'm just here to give some final words of advice if you're thinking about studying abroad or studying abroad in New Zealand or the University of Auckland more specifically. So first off, I'll start with travel. So I used Expedia and Get Your Guide. Expedia I used more for planning flights and accommodation, and Get Your Guide was used for activities. I definitely recommend both of these platforms, but I will note that with Expedia, it can be hard to get a refund. So if you're a bit uncertain with the dates that you're traveling, I might not use that platform or wait to plan the trip. For other travel like bus, train, ferry, you can get an AT Hop card, which is specific to Auckland, and you can get that at the ferry terminal or at the train station. Now, for academics, I would say definitely plan your classes before you get to your study abroad location, and plan that out with an advisor, and try your best to see if you'll get credit for those classes. I know that doesn't always work, and you can't have that finally determined until you see the syllabi. But I would try your best, just because I had a lot of issues with my classes and being in proper classes for my level. So definitely try to get that worked out. Another thing that I want to note is SIM cards. I would recommend either getting an eSIM card or doing an international travel plan. I got a physical SIM card and it just caused a lot of problems for me, and I just wouldn't recommend it. I don't think it's also the most affordable option. So yeah, eSIM card or international travel plan would be a great way to go. Now for housing, if you're going specifically to the University of Auckland, I definitely recommend Carlisle Park, SMH. It was a great location that was very social. They had a lot of events going on, but you also kind of have private areas. You have your own room, a kitchen that's shared just with you and a few roommates. But again, there's also like more social areas like the study areas and the communal kitchen. So it kind of gives you a good balance. And lastly, I would say for a social life, definitely join clubs and go to events. I did notice that at the beginning of the school year or the semester, a lot of people that were studying abroad kind of stuck to groups of people that are from their country or from their program, so it felt a little bit difficult to meet more people. But if you go join these clubs and you go to events, it definitely helps to integrate with people from a bunch of countries. But yeah, that's all I have for today. If you have any other questions, you can find me on social media at ginger.thomas. And if you see me on campus, I'd be happy to answer any other further questions. So yeah, thanks so much, and good luck with your study abroad.